We want to bring you the live victory address from Christine O'Donnell addressing her supporters right now in Dover, Delaware after beating Mike Castle in the Republican Senate primary there.
But I specifically want to thank the 9/12 Patriots for laying the foundation and stirring things up in Delaware. The Founders Values Group and all of the Delaware Tea Party groups. You guys are the visionaries and leaders who made this possible, because you rallied everyday Americans outside of the political establishment, brought them involved, and created a grassroots network that made all of this possible. So, and I also want to thank the Tea Party Express for getting behind. Where are they? And Emeka, our lawyer, and my father. And my mother, and my whole family's behind me. My mother is a spunky woman. Don't ever tell her something can't be done. That's a challenge to prove it can be done. She's right. She's right. So let me tell you about George as a reminder of what tonight is all about and what the next month and a half will be all about. I sat here with him at the picnic tables in the back, and he told me a story of how when he would come home from deployment overseas, people would spit on him as he'd return in his uniform. And he said, that hurt, but I knew what I was fighting for. And I knew the freedoms in America were worth defending, even if the people back home didn't understand it. He said, what I see going on in America hurts the same way. He said, but it's worse, because it is the very people who are supposed to be protecting our freedoms that are taking them away.
That's right. That's right.
And my sister and I, we were driving home from that picnic, and we were just like, we have got to endure and win. We have got to work hard. I stood before most of you a little over a week ago and said, we're not in this to come close. We're in this to win. And we're in this to win big. And win big we did. Don't ever underestimate the power of we the people. We the people will have our voice heard in Washington, D.C. once again, because I believe this isn't just about this U.S. Senate race. This is about changing the system, changing the political system in Delaware so that more everyday Americans can step up to the plate without worrying about character assassination and run for office, because we need citizen politicians in Dover and in Washington, D.C. to get our state and our country back on track. So that's what this is all about. Now, without all of your help and folks like George, this would not have been possible. So you are the real winners tonight, because you have shown that we can win it with a will and a determination, and it is that same determination that we are going to take to Washington, because it will be a partnership. I can advocate for what is right to do in America, but without your help and support, that legislation won't get anywhere. So this partnership doesn't end on Election Day. It just begins on Election Day. Now, a lot of people have already said that we can't win the general election. I know. It is those same... Yes, we can! That's right. experts who said we had no chance of winning the primary. It will be hard work, but we can win. And if those same people who fought against me work just as hard for me, we will win. The common sense men and women of Delaware are tired of the same old coming out of Washington. They don't want more of the same. Well, we are not more of the same. So hold on to your hats, folks, because we're in for a fight. That's right. That's right. And everyone's already asking how we're going to get along tomorrow. And I say the greater good. Look to the greater good. We have to unite for the greater good of what is right in America. And a united party, a united we the people, can win back our country. We don't have to wait till return day to bury the hatchet. So I'm counting on all of you, on everyday Americans, to help us win through the general. We won this with just a tenth of what my opponent raised, just a tenth. So we need more. We need a lot more than that. We might only still take a tenth of what my opponent has. But if everybody who's watching, everyone who's listening, goes to Christine2010.com and makes a contribution right now, we'll have the support we need to hit the ground running tomorrow morning. And let me remind everyone, people, the other thing that the so-called experts are talking about is the low vote number in Delaware. Well, that is true. It's a strategic advantage we have. So a $100 contribution is like making a $1,000 contribution elsewhere. So we're counting on you guys to help us win this, because win this we must. And I believe we can. Yes. So again, you betcha. There's another woman I gotta thank. You betcha. Thank you, Governor Palin, for your endorsement, because she got behind.
Christine O'Donnell shouting out Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska, who endorsed her in her race against Mike Castle of the Republican Senate primary in Delaware. Her supporters sort of ironically adopting the Obama campaign's Yes, We Can slogan at one point during her victory speech. Christine O'Donnell calling for a united Republican Party. The man she beat in this primary, Mike Castle, speaking earlier tonight, pointedly not making the same calls or speaking out about Christine O'Donnell's potential candidacy. It remains to be seen whether or not the Republican powers that be in Delaware will get behind O'Donnell's candidacy, but it is, of course, the story of the night, at least thus far. Joining us right now is the Washington Post and MSNBC's Ezra Klein. Ezra, as you watch Christine O'Donnell's victory speech here tonight, singling out Glenn Beck's 9/12 Project and the Tea Party Express by name for bringing her this victory, does it resonate across the country, or is this a Delaware story?
I think a lot of folks don't know what the 9/12 Project is. You know, and you'll note she didn't name the GOP or really even say that much about Delaware's voters in general. You really get the sense watching this, we sort of have three parties in a two-party system right now, don't we? We've got the Republicans and the Tea Party, and then over there the Democrats. And what O'Donnell did tonight was the Tea Party won a Republican primary. Now, how that is all going to play out and whether or not the Republicans are going to tilt towards her, 44% of Mike Castle's primary voters said they wouldn't back her, really remains to be seen.
I think what we're looking at here is trying to determine whether or not this is a Didi Skazafava, Doug Hoffman situation in New York 23, in which and that's certainly the initial mainstream reaction to this, that the Tea Party has won a victory against the Republican Party, but it is a victory that will cost the Republican Party this seat. What are the sorts of things that we should be looking for, Ezra, in days and weeks ahead, if that's not going to be the case, if she really does have a shot?
Absolutely. And look, she didn't have a shot against Mike Castle, and this was a trope she used in her speech. So, of course, she can't have a shot in the general, but everybody does. It's a very odd year. But the sort of fact remains here that Delaware does not appear to like this woman very much. Again, her favorable numbers in the state are currently 29%. Only 31% of the state thinks she would be good in office. So you sort of have to ask yourself, what is she going to do to win those people over? Now, the normal thing you would say is she will pivot to the center. She will swing. But does anybody think she's the type of candidate, sort of with her background and who's powering her and what her story currently is, who will be able to pivot to the center to swing? It seems unlikely. And the last thing I'd point out, she has $20,000 on hand. The Democrat has about $1 million. Now, those numbers will change. She'll get donations, but she's going to be at a real sort of financial disadvantage here, particularly if the national GOP doesn't rush in to support her, if they write off this race and put their money elsewhere.
Ezra Klein, staff writer for The Washington Post and an MSNBC contributor. Ezra, thanks for being with us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back in 30 minutes with all the latest results. Countdown with Keith Olbermann continues right now.